a decade has been told by a judge he should die in prison. 60-year-old Patrick Gallagher from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire admitted dozens of charges against 16 young victims. A police officer who pushed a man to the ground during the G20 protests in London 2 years ago is being charged with manslaughter. PC Simon Harwood will appear before magistrates next month. The Conservative peer Lord Ashcroft has been given a role in a government review of military bases on Cyprus. Last year, his tax status was revealed as a non-dom. It's thought he's had to give that up in order to stay in the Lords. And President Obama is at Westminster Abbey. He'll visit the grave of the unknown warrior. Sport now, here's Philip Studd.
Sir Alex Ferguson has threatened to ban a reporter from Friday's pre-Champions League final press conference after he raised a question about Ryan Giggs, who missed training this morning. Manchester United are, of course, gearing up to face what some people claim is the greatest club side of all time at Wembley. So how does Sir Alex plan to deal with Barcelona's superstar Lionel Messi?
We've played against Barcelona 3 times with Messi in the team. And there's always a solution to every good player. We hope we can find a solution for that on Saturday, but you've got to recognise that they have other good players and we have other good players, and that is why it's such a appealing game. I'm sure Barcelona are aware of the threats that we can offer, and hopefully that is the case.
Well, Barca are flying to London today, 2 days earlier than planned because of the disruption to air travel caused by the ash cloud. The Rangers chief executive Martin Bain and the club's finance director Donald McIntyre have been suspended on full pay pending an inquiry into contractual matters, while the club's chairman Alistair Johnston has been removed from the board. It comes 2 weeks after businessman Craig White took control at Ibrox. Andy Murray says he'll go away and work on his movement after a not entirely convincing straight sets win today over Eric Proden at the French Open. Murray faces Italy's Simone Bolelli in round 2 on Thursday. Rafael Nadal has begun his defence of the title today against the big serving American John Isner. And Russell Fuller, it's proving to be rather tougher than expected for the world number one.
Yes, if John Isner was proving a headache for Rafael Nadal earlier, he's rapidly turning into a migraine. He's levelled the match at 1 set all by winning the second set on a tie-break, and he's just saved 2 set points to take Rafael Nadal into a second consecutive tie-break, which John Isner leads by 4 points to 2. 5 points to 2 now. Nadal 2 serves to come, but Isner has the mini break and a chance to move 2 sets to 1 in front. Basically, very powerful serving has been too much for Nadal, who's a little rattled and is making a few unforced errors of his own. 1 set all, but Isner leads 5-2 in this tiebreak in set 3.
Well, what an upset that would be. Rafael Nadal in trouble in his first round match at the French Open, where he was super dominant for all of those years. We'll keep you posted here on 5 Live throughout the afternoon. We're still waiting, by the way, for Elena Baltacha's first round match to get underway. She follows a 5-setter on court 6. When that does begin, you can hear full commentary of it on Sports Extra. Kevin Peterson says England aren't getting carried away with their aim to become the world's number 1 side, with the first test match against Sri Lanka starting at Cardiff on Thursday.
Bigger picture is not something we need to focus on. The pictures we need to look at are the first hour of play Thursday morning.
Why is that?
Because I don't think we deal with things in a good manner when we think big things, and we think winning Ashes series, and we think being the world's best. The way our team operates at its best is when we think about smaller little targets, and we can concentrate on those.
Well, last week, the Essex all-rounder Graham Napier was making headlines as a batsman, hitting sixes for fun. Today, he's performing as a useful bowler at home to Middlesex. Kevin Howes is watching at Chelmsford.
That's right, Middlesex 208 for 5. Napier, who equalled the most sixes struck in a first-class innings last week. Yesterday, the pick of the Essex bowlers. 4 of those 5 wickets to have fallen, but at least the visitors have fought back. A stat of 103 between Jamie Dalrymple and Sam Robson is now over. The Australian-born Robson, 2 years off qualifying for England, is approaching his 3rd first-class century. So close, he's on 99 not out at present. And the Division 1 leaders, Lancashire, 183 for 5 at the Rose Bowl. Carl Brown out on 96.
Toulon have confirmed that Gavin Henson will not be offered a new contract next season. Henson recently served a 1-week suspension for a nightclub brawl with teammates, but the team manager Tom Whitford says they're more concerned about him being unavailable during the World Cup. And the Saracens prop Matt Stevens has confirmed that he will be joining up with the England Saxon squad for this summer's Churchill Cup. Stevens only returned to rugby in January after serving a 2-year drugs ban. And I can tell you, John Isner has taken a 2-1 lead over the world number 1 and defending French Open champion Rafael Nadal.
OK, well, we'll keep you up to date with what's happening there at the French Open. Thank you, Philip Studd. John Barrowman is here.
Hey.
John Barrowman.
I get applause.
Nice. Got loads of texts coming in for you.
Really?
Loads of people.
Good
Questions
stuff
for John Barrowman.
Like what?
I'll do some in a minute, because look at this. Can you see that monitor there?
Yep.
What's happening on there, John?
It is the Obama state visit, and the US president leaves Westminster Abbey.
He's left Westminster Abbey, and we can now, from the aerial view on the monitor, we can see Obama's motorcade turning into Downing Street, and our reporter, Chris Mason, is keeping an eye on this. Chris, where exactly are you?
I'm in Downing Street, Richard, as the Beast makes its way up to the door of 10 Downing Street. It's stopped about 20 yards short. The red carpet is in place. The door of Downing Street opening, and David Cameron and Samantha Cameron stepping out onto the top step of Downing Street. There's the Stars and Stripes on the front of the Beast. This is the huge 6.5 litre, 8-ton Cadillac that the President travels in when he's abroad, and indeed when he's in the US. He's just stepped out of the car into the afternoon sunshine, shaking hands with some security officers, and next to him is his wife, the First Lady, in a purple dress, who's kissing the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister and the President shaking hands now and exchanging pleasantries a couple of yards to the right of the main Downing Street door. In many senses, Richard, this is a nipping in and saying hello session this afternoon. The main political talks will take place tomorrow, when we'll hear the President addressing both houses of Parliament in Westminster
And is he
Hall.
back at Downing Street tomorrow as well?
He will nip back into Downing Street tomorrow for a barbecue in the afternoon, but this is just a quick nip into the house to say hello as the two couples, still exchanging pleasantries, wander back over towards the red carpet, away from President Obama in the direction of a very impressive elevated scrum of photographers. I can just see the air shimmering above all of the TV lights as well, and they're posing for the inevitable snap on the doorstep as a couple of photographers come to grief off their mighty high step ladders and collapse in a heap, a somewhat undignified heap. Lots of questions being shouted in the direction of the couple. They're asking for more and more waves in the direction of all of the different flash bulbs on the other side of the pavement. And I think shortly Mr Cameron will turn in the direction of the President as he is now.
I like Samantha's dress. I'm not very good at describing dresses, John Barrowman. Are you any good at dresses?
No.
Anyone? You,
No.
Chris?
It's kind of a black and white combo, isn't it?
It looks blue and white on my monitor, but you're standing in front of us, so I guess you're correct.
It's a sort of light white dress with lots of black markings, but beyond that I wouldn't claim to be able to offer much better description than that. They're just about to step through. David Cameron insisting that the two ladies go first, and then the two leaders step through the door, and the collection of aides and officials and security officers, a good number of them actually, a couple of dozen aides making their way in off the red carpet. The next bit to come, Richard, is the 3-point turn that the Beast, this Cadillac, has to perform. The last time it was here, in 2009, it became a viral hit on the internet, the performing of a 3-point turn for this 18-foot car in a pretty small street that is full of the world's press.
So what happens? That motorcade, which John and I have been watching with interest, and it's an enormous number of cars long. They can't all get into Downing Street. So what's happened to all the other Secret Service vehicles and everyone else? Where are they?
To be honest, I don't know, because the only car, as you say, that's come in is the Beast, which is now being backed up and is reversing and is going to attempt this. It's the ultimate nightmare, isn't it, in the driving test doing the 3-point turn? Well, imagine doing a 3-point turn in an 18-foot car in front of the world's press.
John Barrowman knows where they all go.
I think all the rest of the motorcade would have gone round to the back of Downing Street, because there's an entrance back there where they can all sit, because the Secret Service and everything would then go into the building or surround the building after he's gone inside.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's my guess.
I love the way you know your way around 10 Downing Street.
I'm interested. When they walk in, do they go upstairs? I'm fortunate enough to have been in Downing Street. Will they get the tour of the rooms upstairs, or will they go directly through the hallway into the back, into the gardens?
I can tell you another one of the presidential vehicles has actually come into Downing Street. A huge people carrier with space for 6, 7, 8, probably 9 Secret Service agents is currently performing a U-turn, very gentle U-turn, doesn't want to climb the curb or indeed crash into number 11 Downing Street, which is backing up.
Sorry, the Secret Service get driven around in a people carrier, did he say?
It's like an SUV. isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
because that suddenly sounded a lot less cool.
The American ones, they use, I think it's, there are other brands of SUVs out there, but they use Chevy Suburbans.
Apparently they
Yeah,
have
it's just-
equipment in that means that blocks people transmitting signals around where the motorcade travels.
Because I remember when George Bush was in, he came to have a state visit before he went out of office. There was a thing that if you said certain things on your mobile phone, your signal would die. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I think
Not
that's
much
kind
really
of
about SUV.
really, that's the sci-fi end of it. That's kind of cool to think.
I'm being messaged by a producer here on my screen who says that Samantha Cameron's dress was blue and white, actually, Chris Mason.
Oh, I didn't even get the colours right, let
Come
alone
on,
the description.
Chris.
And did you missed the pleats in front too?
You know what?
Chris, your eyes and ears on the ground. What's going on? Thank you
Yes,
very much.
the joy of fashion description.
Chris Mason outside 10 Downing Street. I guess that's the challenge because Chris Mason, political reporter, when you've got Obama arriving at 10 Downing Street, there's no politics to discuss at that point. You are just describing people walking into a house.
Yeah, but I love the fact that, two of the biggest leaders in the Western world are one's just able to pop round for tea for a quick visit.
Sounds like they're planning tomorrow's barbecue.
You know what?
Have you ever thrown a big barbecue? It needs thought.
Yes. Yeah, who's going to be cooking, though? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
Will Clegg be cooking?
But also, what sort of meat?
Well, I don't think the Obamas, they're not vegetarians, so they'll
They're not
have...
vegetarians.
They'll have
But no,
they got to do American hamburgers.
Have you ever thrown a big barbecue?
Yes.
Don't you have a big discussion about where you get the sausages from? Are you going to do chicken at all? Spatchcock chicken, maybe. Fish. Is this a fish place?
Correct.
I mean,
Correct. Well, hopefully let's hope they've got it catered.
John Barrowman is here. We're going to take the travel and come back and talk properly with you, John.
Okay, no problem.
About Tonight's the Night, which is your big Saturday night BBC TV show.
Yep.
When's it back?
It's coming back in the autumn, actually.
You're here to promote a show that's on in the autumn.
Well, actually, it's to promote the show because we're also doing... It's in the summer, actually. This is terrible. I'm just off a plane. You've caught me out here. It's this summer it happens, and I'm here actually to get a voice out there for more people to come and get involved.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right, more with John in a moment. It's 3:47. Louise Perry, what's happening out there?
Thanks, Richard. Let's start with the roads. The M4. We've got delays eastbound because of an abnormal load travelling from junction 25 at Carlion. It's making its way towards Southampton eventually, so I do expect some delays behind it. The A444 is partly blocked southbound at Castle Gresley. This is because of an overturned lorry, likely to be there until about 5:30. The A49 partly blocked both ways at Steventon. This is in Shropshire. This is following an accident. The A501 Marylebone Road is closed westbound at York Gate. Now this is causing an awful lot of congestion. It's right the way back through Euston, back towards King's Cross, around the one-way system, out towards Islington. So that whole area very congested because of the closure westbound at York Gate. And the flight situation... Still major disruption today because of the ash cloud across Scotland, the north of England, Northern Ireland and also the Republic of Ireland. The advice is still to check the status of your flight before you head to the airport. We're now being informed that there may be disruption continuing through the night until the early hours of tomorrow morning. It is a changing situation and we'll keep you up to date. We just had an update from BMI who've said they've taken the decision to cancel all their flights from Edinburgh and Glasgow for the rest of today. I know there's an awful lot of flights, British Airways flights also being cancelled, so do check the status of your flight before you head to the airport today. Louise Perry, 5 Live.